Every time you help a mentee in distress, you will build trust. And when there's trust, you can work with your mentee to make the coaching mantra real for them. That happens starting right now. Helping a mentee stuck in negativity involves offering support and guidance to shift their perspective from dwelling on problems to seeking solutions. It entails actively listening to their concerns, providing constructive feedback, and encouraging a more positive and proactive mindset to overcome challenges. The very first thing you need to do is recognize that your mentee has begun to vent to you. We ask that our mentees are honest with us, and with that comes the positive and the negative. You'll need to be on the lookout for when the conversation takes a turn from honesty to a damaging fixation. This could look like an increase in negative statements being made about their work, members of their team, management, etc. An overall sense of pessimism through facial expressions and body language, or specific complaints about their frustration or unhappiness. You want to build rapport in this moment by thanking them for trusting you enough to share and open up. And this is also a great time to remind them of the coaching mantra, that your goal is that they love their job, are great at it, and see an exciting future for themselves. The next thing you'll want to do is break that negative loop that they're stuck in through redirection. This will probably be the hardest step in this play. It's difficult to interject yourself and guide the conversation to a more productive space when someone is in full-blown vent mode. When emotions are running high, you need to determine if this would even be the best time to try to crack the case. If the mentee is in a good headspace to have a more productive conversation, then you can move on to the next step of this play. If the mentee just wants to vent, try to gather some information while actively listening, but don't move to crack the case. Set up some time with your mentee to follow up and then come back to this play the next time you meet. Now you'll need to crack the case. Follow the standard crack the case process and reference that play during this step as it is way more detailed. But here are a few things that you might tweak as you crack the case for this particular situation of having a mentee stuck in negativity. So you'll want to continue to build rapport and trust with your mentee by asking some questions to transition into a more analytical approach. Acknowledge their negative emotion and then redirect. You could say something like, I hear your frustration. Let's shift our focus from venting to learning and growing. What lessons can we draw from this situation? How can we turn this into a valuable learning experience? When it comes to symptoms, you'll want a clear list of symptoms that cause them to reach out to you, not a long list of complaints. Document the symptoms in the notes section of your CRM unless your mentee asks you not to. You'll want to work with your mentee to co-diagnose the root cause of their issue. Feel free to restate what they tell you in order to provide confirmation and clarity about what is really going on. The root cause may be something that the mentee wants to remain in their position to work on, but they could come to the conclusion that it's not worth it or doesn't make sense for them to work on a prescription. We'll cover this more in the next slide. Once you have run the crack the case play and determined where their issue is stemming from, you need to figure out if your mentee wants to solve the problem. Just coming to work every day miserable isn't really an option, so they either need to work to fix it or start looking elsewhere. You can ask, do you think this is something that can be resolved? Can we work together to brainstorm some solutions or goals, or is this role, company, team just not the best fit for you? Remind them that you're on their side and you'll continue to support them no matter what they choose. If they decide they would like to stay, you can move on to the next step of this play and work with them to prescribe a solution. If they decide the issue is either not fixable or not worth the effort for them to fix, you'll need to run the when to guide a mentee to look outside array for a job play. Obviously, we don't want to see them go, but array is not always the best fit for everyone, and our goal as a coach is to support our mentees whatever their path may look like. If the mentee is open to working through the issue, it means that they see a light at the end of the tunnel, and they're willing to put in the effort for things to get better. This is a chance to work with your mentee to prescribe a solution that will hopefully mitigate their symptoms and get them out of that rut of negativity. We have a play specifically for the prescribing a solution step of cracking the case, so please reference that play for more information. I would like to provide a quick reminder that this situation is complicated, so the step may take place in a separate meeting or over the course of 1 or 2 meetings. Coming up with a solution is challenging, and it's not your job to solve your mentee's problems for them. Your job is to help coach them and support them through the problems and then hold them accountable for the goals that are set. You want them to grow through this experience, gain knowledge, and display the confidence needed to overcome whatever obstacle they may be facing. Maybe they need to have a tough conversation with their manager. More than likely, whatever the prescription, you will provide your mentee with trainings to equip them to handle the issue, so part of the step can be to make a goal and get them to commit to it. This might mean completing training apps or checking out other resources within a certain time frame and with a way to measure their growth and success regarding the goal they set. This will give them an actionable step towards resolution. This last slide will serve as a catch-all for some reminders and steps we think you should take after cracking the case with your mentee. After the prescription session with your mentee, send the care package email that's provided in the coaching email template document, along with any prescribed solutions from the session. Like I mentioned in the previous slide, this could be training apps, resources, or other action items. I think it's also important to clarify with your mentee that normal coaching activity and homework will be put on hold while you focus on getting them to a place where the coaching mantra is real for them again. Reviewing the email content and completing any of the trainings they think would be helpful is what they should focus on, and they can always get back onto the coaching program's designated path when this issue is resolved. The last thing I recommend you do is set a follow-up meeting. Give plenty of time for the mentee to review the resources, but don't have them wait too long to schedule. You don't want this issue to continue to upset them and bring them down. You can even try to secure a time for your next meeting while you're already in the prescribing a solution session. I hope you use this play and find it helpful whenever you have a mentee who is stuck in negativity. Good luck, and feel free to reach out to another coach to role play the situation or discuss further.